Leaflit, you had a big interview recently, which kind of went a little viral, which was very exciting to see. Why don't you tell us a little about that?
Oh man, I mean, people were very, very mad.
Why is it so mad at you?
I had a conversation with a trans person, and everyone's mad at me now.
Everybody is?
Yeah, a little bit on both sides, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it like one of those songs of like everybody hates Leaflit now?
Yeah,
Chris,
yeah.
Everybody
That.
hates Leaflit.
That's right. Well, we always talk about how it's great to have conversations about things with people that you don't necessarily agree with or align with, and you actually did that. I very much commend both of you for doing this. I think this is a wonderful thing. Now what's been interesting is I've seen people who are fans of yours who are like, how can you platform this person? And I've seen people who are fans of them saying, how can you platform Leaflit? And you see it from both sides.
Yeah.
So when did y'all set this up?
Well, we had a kind of I reacted to a video. So it was about Straub and Rev. I know they're you know them. You guys are friends with them.
Yeah.
Basically, the person Nyara was going after Straub because Straub made a post about and I'm paraphrasing, of course, because I don't really remember the quote, but it was something along the lines of that she doesn't hate trans people, but she doesn't really agree and thinks that it's not really good for them. Something along those lines.
That is a controversial take, apparently.
Yeah, and then people basically Nara was saying, again paraphrasing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was something along the lines that she's groomed, and like she's a bad person and all of that, and so I basically made a video about it, defending Straub, and then they got mad, so I totally misrepresented them, and then I was like, okay, well, let's talk about it then, I guess.
Okay.
I said, we can talk about it on stream if you want, and then it could be completely neutral because then you can stream it, I can stream it, and then we can just talk about why you think that. We barely got into it actually in the conversation. It went all over the place, to be honest. It was like 4 hours long.
Yeah, I tuned in for about 45 minutes, and I just want to say you are a saint, because I was literally yelling at my monitor like a lot of people were, because you were so calm during the conversation. And look, we've done interviews where people say the same thing to us, right? And I understand that during, while this is happening, you have a lot of things going on in your brain. Why don't you walk us through? You said you what was the logic you had here with this? You said you were gonna before the show.
Yeah. So basically, my entire goal, I guess, going into it was, listen, I'm gonna be as reasonable as possible, and I'm even going to make some concessions. And if you think that is bigoted, hateful, like literally the worst, then you're not targeting me, you're targeting like 90% of people. And that was kind of like my goal, was to take a position that was like really difficult to it was basically very reasonable. And it was to make it so that I mean, it doesn't matter unless you have like 100% obedience, then it's there's no agreement to be had.
I think that's the one thing that I picked up on it as well, was you either agree 100% with them or you're a horrible person.
Yes.
And that's the thing that we've constantly heard over and over again, is like, my cardinal sin is I know what a man is and I know what a woman is. I said that on the show many, many times. And because of that, I have been, I've had old friends and colleagues who want nothing to do with me anymore because I know biological facts. And you brought this up several times during the interview, and they went out. I think for me, as I listened to this, it comes down to something very, very simple. There is abject changes to words and the definitions of those words, right? When you say, hey, you're a boy, you say, well, that's someone with a penis. And they go, well, is it? And that's at its core, that's really what it comes down to is there's just disagreement at the most basic level, which ultimately allows things to tree off and spawn all sorts of other arguments. But it's a very fundamental definitional difference.
Well, the problem is, what is language but for communication? And if like words don't mean anything anymore, then how do you even talk to people about anything? And it's kind of like, and I think that's my problem with the whole thing. And here's the thing is, even if I were to accept like, okay, there's a difference between like gender and sex, right? Like maybe the gender is something societally, something in your mind, something like that, right? We still need a word to describe like the biological reality, because how else can we describe it? And that's kind of my point, is that how what are you talking about when you like if a person is trans, and even if we were to accept the premise that they could transition, shouldn't there be a thing to describe like the state at which they began? How would you be able to describe that if language is so muddied? I guess is my point.
So there's been a lot of reaction to this online, and some people have, I see this guy Hemlock says Leaf played it as the best she could, right? And there's been a lot of that, right? And then there's some people who just think you're insane, right? And we're gonna get to some of those clips as well. But this has been a lot of the response here. So watch 5 minutes, and I was done. How do you say this? Nyara?
Nyara, I believe.
Nyara is a trauma-driven ideologue with a martyr complex. Any kind of concession, discussion, or appeal to reason can never work, viewing everything through a personal and emotional lens. Every debate is a fight for survival and social validation right here. So is that how you felt as you were in the middle of it?
Yeah, I think that kind of is the issue. Is this is how it feels like to me, and maybe you could tell me how you feel about this, but it feels like to me that the entire exercise is really an exercise in what's the word, like a sense of it's basically a lack of self-esteem, basically, and it's kind of like you're forced to participate in like the boosting of that. And yeah, I'm not like a big fan of that. I think
it's not healthy for anybody.
I think that validation should come from yourself. And it's the only way you can be happy, because like and here's the problem is like, say like your entire self-value, self-worth is based on how people perceive you. The problem is, even if you got 99% of people to perceive you that way, all it takes is one person to be like, no thanks, sir. And it's like it's over. Like your entire ivory tower, it crumbles.
Did you at any point ask them about is it a guy who transitioned to a girl? Is that what the idea is here?
For Nyara?
Yeah. It's a guy who says she's a girl. Okay, got it. Okay. Did you ask Nyara about Nyara's relationship with Nyara's parents?
I did not, actually. I did not go into that.
That's one of the first things that I would ask. Hey, what do you think of your dad? Or does your dad love you? Does your mom love? That's where I would start with. I would like, what's your relationship look like? Because I think a lot of folks, you talk about it being a security thing, a validation thing. A lot of it stems from them not getting validation from their parents. I'm
not. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't really.
Azara says Craig Ocko did. Okay, I don't know. I haven't seen that, but we saw this. Curious. I'm convinced this is the moment Leaflit started regretting the whole thing, and I don't blame her, honestly. Let's go and watch this. Then I want to know if you actually regretted any of it. Let's see what happened here.
You could say that like intersex women who have like an influx in testosterone are 9% faster on average than cis women, so they should also be banned. So you're just
in our thing.
So it's really frustrating for me, because
let's assume there's no intersex women. Let's assume there's no intersex women. Let's just assume for the hypothetical that they don't exist. For the hypothetical.
So this right here, your face right here. Are you thinking through things, or are you going through immense regret? As
things I always do I always try to think through things, and that's why sometimes I just go quiet. And the thing is when I'm presented a question I haven't really fully thought through, I'm totally willing to say like, huh, I never thought. Like, give me a bit to think about that, because I like to think through what I'm saying, but to be honest, and this is not really an excuse. It's kind of my fault. I hadn't slept for 24 hours at the time of like that thing started. I think and in total I was up for 30 hours. I had a patch to do, and like a bad. Anyway, that's kind of I was kind of really tired, and then the issue I had was that they didn't want to deal in hypotheticals, and they were saying that like for some reason people think the hypotheticals are bad, but hypotheticals is how you create the common ground to actually understand what people believe. You have to like create like a specific scenario to really surgically extract what the actual belief is. And you can't really do that with hypotheticals. That's why you do it, right? And I guess some people don't understand it. They think that I'm just arguing in bad faith, but that's the purpose of it.
Well, let's see some of the response here. We saw, how I started saying like, "Hey, you are a saint." People were saying that to the Nyara person as well. Props to Nyara for maintaining their composure throughout the whole portion of the stream, because oh my God, I wanted to bash my head through a wall, right? So we're over here saying how, like, oh my God, and everyone on that side saying, oh my fucking God, they just don't get it, right? And I think it goes back to just the simple idea of there's just definitional differences here. One is reality, one is fake.
That thing in particular, that line was about whether or not Straub was malicious. Basically, was that line of questioning. And my argument was that it's not really malicious, because whether or not the result of something is good or not has nothing to do with whether or not the act in of itself is intended in a malicious manner. That they're separated. So that was my entire argument there. Yeah, and people basically said that, oh, that means that you agree with abusers or something like that. And I was like, no, what I'm saying is that the intent, the maliciousness of the intent has nothing to do with the action.
Well, let's see some of these, quote, actually insane takes from Leaflit and see how insane they are. Once again, I think it's important to point out this is from Bulge Boy. Nice. So, consider the source here.
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yes, of course.
One thing I just never understood about, I've never understood this new age that we live in, where the anomaly demands everyone else change for them. It's almost like we need to move all of our doorknobs 2 feet lower than they are for small people. And then there's a group of people out there that can't be in sunlight. That it's a disease they have. That doesn't mean that every building has to seal off every single window. It's this idea that because I feel this way or I have this thing, everyone needs to change for me. I think the vast majority of us, not everyone, but most of us wouldn't care if you want to dress as whatever and go by whatever. Just don't expect the world to have to go along with it. Otherwise, we'd all live pretty harmoniously if you just didn't make the demands of everyone else to cater to your perception of reality, if that makes sense.
That was one of my major points. That was one of my major points during it, and I feel like that was one that a lot of people were really mad at. Because I
don't care if they think it's real, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. It's just you're still the anomaly. You're the odd man out.
Yes.
And it's just weird that you're demanding that everyone go along with it. That's the part I've never understood. I get it.
My concern here is
how girly his voice was.
What? I'm sorry. What Blabs?
Oh, I said I really liked how girly his voice was.
Who?
That was sarcasm. He was like, hey.
The German dude.
Okay.
Yeah, Nyara.
Okay, what were you saying, Leaflet? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was saying my concern is with societal harmony, right? And if we have to accept that in order for there to be societal harmony, you have to understand that the average of society is gonna behave one way, and there's gonna be weird people, right? Like, I'm a weird person. I think so. Like, I don't go outside. I play games all the time. I just feel like I'm a weird person in general. And
Pretty weird, yeah.
I'm pretty weird, yeah. I like anime. I mean, that's kind of weird. But
Weep! No, dude.
Yeah, we all have our thing. Like I
Right,
don't
right.
celebrate holidays, but I will always go along with people who do. Like
Yeah.
because you're the odd man out. And so like
yes,
you listen, you live in a society, you need to work with that society. You don't demand everyone cater to you. Because then you could flip it. Then okay, well then you have to cater to me that doesn't want your be a part of anything to do with you then. Let's just do it that way then. Like the whole thing is ridiculous. That's the part I've never understood.
yeah. For the sake of harmony, you have to kind of contain your weirdness a little bit when it comes to dealing with people in public, in my opinion. And people really got upset at that one. Like, oh, so you're saying we're weird with to be in the closet and stuff? And I'm like, no, just like, like maybe don't wear, maybe don't wear a hentai shirt like in public. Like, does that mean I want hentai shirts to be illegal? Like, no.
Maybe not at the Pride Parade have a piss pool that is visible by kids. Maybe don't do that. Just like, we're not saying you need to like we're just saying just don't go around peeing on each other. Just throwing it out
Some
there.
common courtesy.
Yeah.
Stop peeing on each other in public.
All right, let's go and see some of your quote insane takes here. I want to see how insane they are. Have you seen these yet?
Kind of.
Okay, let's see what they are.
Like a bad, like a inherently bad thing. It's just that since we exist in a society, you'd have to harmonize with said society. So it would make it easier.
So should the norm basically control how others need to live like?
It's like I said before.
For the record, he sounds like he is from an episode of Sprockets on Saturday Night Live. Welcome to Sprockets.
On Sprockets we dance.
That's right. Sorry, you can tell.
For people who are weird have to do their best to live within the society, and society has a obligation or a moral obligation to allow them to have their liberty. I think it's a very basic take. Not moral side. Why is it so insane? I don't know.
That's the most milquetoast take I've ever heard in my entire life. Like,
that was my point. That was my angle. My entire angle was like, listen, I'm going to say the most reasonable thing that 90% of people go, oh yeah, I agree with that. And then I want to see them call me literally, Bitler over it. That's basically what I wanted to do.
I am shocked that is seen as an insane take. Let's go see another insane take that you had here and see how well that's gone over.
Like, let's say, for instance, let's say I love hentai like a fuck ton. Let's say I'm just really into hentai, like, damn. And
clip it. Just kidding.
I got one of those ahegao shirts, right? And I love it. It's so good. If I wear it like at home, it doesn't really matter. But if I wear it like at a park where there's kids, now I'm kind of infringing on society. You see what I mean? But I'm not saying you should make ahegao shirts illegal.
You can literally see through the VTuber model the mental gymnastics trying to be done here. Like it's
I was so tired. You could see it like it
I'm not talking about you.
Eyes are just no, I'm just making an observation.
Okay. I'm not talking about you right here.
No, I know you're not. It's just
let's see how Nyara responded.
Do you equate being gay to being like some perversion?
There it is.
No, I'm using.
I knew that was a response.
Yes, Phoenix.
I knew that you could.
The entire thing was a hypothetical.
I knew the response was coming.
Mm-hmm.
An example of a thing that's outside of the average normal. So wait, they left that in? They left that in? Yes. Like, wait.
Yes.
Wait, they left. They could have cut it there and then basically had the gotcha, like the sound clip, but they actually left my explanation of saying no and explaining it that it was just an example. Which is why I don't know. Amazing stuff.
These are ridiculous. Sorry, quote, insane takes from Leaflit. So you're so insane.
I am, yeah.
You're crazy. Let's see what else. let's just pick this one.
Sure,
See,
if
like a
Germany
hypothetical.
Germany would go ahead and they are going to be like, well, Jewish people are too disruptive, so all of them need to like be sent away. That is like something that you would like support because the majority of people in Germany aren't Jewish.
man, it always comes back to the Holocaust.
Yeah, I know.
Sure,
Like,
if
sorry, it's insane how quickly they just make that leap there. Let's see how this finishes up.
because the majority of people in Germany aren't Jewish, so they should be able to like decide that.
No, I don't think so because that would involve taking their property rights away.
What
Yeah.
if?
Because you would have to steal. So if Jews lived in Germany, you would have to steal their property rights and steal their property in order to kick them out.
So do you think that like a sense of like
Because they live there, right? Because they live there, so you would have to like take everything from their. Like I mean that's just true. It's like
You're insane, Leaflit.
it's just true.
From gays to Jews.
I love that the argument here is that you take these extreme edge cases. They're like, why do you care? It's only, whatever. And you're taking these very extreme circumstances that happen. And then they're like, yeah, but what about the Holocaust? like that's where they immediately jump. It's amazing. Amazing. Where did you get these insane takes, Leaflit?
Thinking.
Oh.
And thinking about reality, which is something I like doing a lot.
Blabs, as you're watching this,
Ah.
what are your thoughts as you're seeing this?
I
The
could
insane
not
takes.
have done what you've done, Leaflit. I would have been out 5 minutes in, not even 5 minutes. I would have no patience whatsoever. I'm like, you don't make any sense. You're just reading. No, thank you. Goodbye. There's no conversation.
The sad thing though, Bobs, is I was prepared for very specific arguments. Like I was in my preparation, I put almost all of my preparation into being ready to address the whole trans children thing, because that's where I take a hard line on no.
Sure.
Is on that. And so I was really prepared for that, and it never came up. I was so ready for it, and it never came up.
Well, maybe you'll have
bullet points and everything, and it didn't
I
even
did.
happen.
I had studies. I had everything.
Well, we have this last little clip. You said this is pretty much how it ended right here after 4 hours of beating your head against the wall and being better than all of us because you could have a good conversation. This is the very tail end of it right here, huh?
Yeah, this is the end of it.
Okay, let's see how it ended.
I think you should empathize with the victim more.
What?
Empathize with the victim more. The victim of.
I think
so. In the
Are these the women who have the dongs hanging out in the locker rooms, or the little girls?
we talked about that actually, about dongs in the locker room.
Oh, what did he have to say?
That I don't want to misquote them. It was like an entire thing, but I believe it was that the comfort of the trans person is more important than the bigot.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it
So
truly
not
I don't know if I'm wrong though. I
emphasizing
might
with
get
the
it wrong. I might have gotten it
whatsoever.
wrong.
Okay.
amazing. All right, let's.
But I mean, yeah, you can see this whole one. I mean, you'll know when it ends, basically.
Okay.
with the victim more.
Empathize with the victim more. The victim of.
I think
so. In the case,
I think you're more in like a mindset of like protecting the abuser instead of like actually understanding like how the victim is actually like feeling.
No, I don't
when
actually
it
think
comes
it's
to, like,
abuse. That's the
these
thing. I
things.
fundamentally disagree. I fundamentally
Yeah, and I think
disagree
you
with
would
anything with
realize
abuse.
that it's abuse when you understand how the victim is feeling.
So if the victim feels, so if I said,
Bad?
Nyar, you're abusing me right now because you don't agree with me. Like I feel incredibly abused by you and all of the people on X, I feel super abused by it. What then? Does that make you wrong? Because I feel incredibly abused. I mean, a lot of people came after me, said a lot of things to me. I got death threats. Like I feel super abused. Am I right now because I'm abused too?
I think you're right in the way that you feel and like how things affect you. And I think you can like judge the words that I say based on like how you feel.
So wouldn't that make us equally right then? Because you're abused, I'm abused. Like we're both abused, right?
What are you giggling, Blabs?
It's just funny as hell. Do you not see him? He's like turning his head, thinking into space. He's like, now what do I do? Because like Leaflit's like just doing Uno reverse on him with his logic. Okay, like, well, if that's the applies, then this is just, he's just changing the goalposts. And the fact that he's all like, oh, we need to emphasize with the victims more. But apparently, with the whole dongs in the locker room, he applied that the sympathy goes for the trannies in the locker room. Was like, well, no, the victim's actually the little girl who just saw some guy's dick. So which one is it, dude?
Can we also just take a step back and say, like, we're having like these philosophical questions with cartoon characters now? Like, I fucking love that. That is never lost on me.
So true, yeah.
That's great. Let's go to see. I'm very excited to see the response here.
Do you think that like you disagreeing or like someone disagreeing with the existence of like or like the identity of like some people
I mean,
is something that you can disagree with, or is that like infringing on your?
I mean, they're infringing on my they're infringing on my worldview. It's how I believe. It's how I see the world. It's me. It's my identity. And they're saying it's invalid.
I think you need a better worldview then. I'll be real.
Yeah, but see, isn't that abusive? That's abusive to me. Because what if I told you that? What if I said, well, you need a better worldview? You see what I mean? This is why you have
paradox of. Do you know the paradox of tolerance?
Go ahead.
You cannot tolerate the intolerant.
Mm-hmm. But what if I think you're intolerant?
Boom! I love it. Sorry, I can't wait to see this response. Oh my gosh, that's. I love the just when you use their logic against them, that's when it all collapses. And I think that's what is currently happening at this point. The collapse of the entire worldview here, but and the victim mentality is spectacular here.
When you get down to it, all they want to say is, I'm right because I'm right, leave me alone. Like, that's really all it boils down to. And Craig, again, this timeline is so agitating because I know a lot of people who are unfortunately disabled and stuff like that. And one of the inspiring things about them was that when, these situations happened to them, they didn't want help from people. They wanted to become normal as best as they could. Whatever happened to them, I had a friend that lost his leg, and he didn't want people helping him all the time. He didn't want people saying, you poor baby, and pampering him. He went on to actually become a world-renowned bodybuilder and stuff like that. There's a documentary on him now. That to me is the triumph story. That is overcoming the odds that came to you. I don't understand this. Well, I do, because people just want easy power, but I don't understand on the surface of why, if something has bad happened to you or whatever, you feel like an outcast, where you just want to be pampered and babied and empowered by that quote unquote disability or whatever that is to you, instead of overcoming it and doing something with it, something positive, and becoming, it's lost on us. Like, the idea, you couldn't have Rocky nowadays, the underdog story. You can't. He should just automatically win because he's the small guy. He doesn't have as much money and his fame as the other guy. He should just win. It's that story, this new timeline that I cannot get behind. I don't understand it.
I'm curious to see the response here. Let's see how Nyara responded.
Do you see what I mean? Like, if you go to, I'm the victim, so therefore, like, you have to listen to me, and that's all it is, full stop. You can't go anywhere. It's basically, you're never going to be able to understand the other person or even attempt to. You have to basically, this is why I was talking hypotheticals, so that we could find common ground, by creating a meta world in which like we could both agree on. Then we could come to the actual meat and potatoes of our philosophical disagreements. That's the point of it. I'm not making hypotheticals just to fuck with you, basically.
Yeah, I think defending abusers, if that is like your worldview and whatnot, then your
See, but I don't agree.
worldview
I
should
don't
be
agree.
disagreed with.
I don't agree that they're abusers.
It's okay to be wrong.
Okay, well, it's okay for you to be wrong. So see, it doesn't go anywhere. If you don't actually use any sort of logic, if it's like pure feelings, then it becomes your feelings against mine. So your feelings are like, well, I feel abused, I feel terrible. I say, well, I feel abused and I feel terrible. And then now you're just at neutral, basically, right?
Sure. It's
Yeah.
getting pretty late.
Yeah, I get it.
think
I get it.
wanna
I get it.
play.
Well, time to go. You've poked all the holes in my argument here, and I think it's time for me to go to the restroom now. I'm sorry.
I actually have a question for you, Leaflit. Did you guys end the thing publicly, or did you guys chit chat backstage? It was like, well, never seen you ever again. Bye.
I had a sponsor after this. So I went right into like a normal. I went right into like staying up for the sponsored segment. So I had to play like more games to like basically like jacked adrenaline in my head to like stay awake, so I could do the sponsor after. It was painful.
So basically, he just dipped the live stream, and you kept going playing a game. And
Yeah, I heard they kept talking about it though after, and I heard that they said they were very disappointed in me.
Wait. It was getting really late.
Yes.
And he kept going?
Apparently, yeah, after on the stream.
Not that late, apparently.
Okay. Interesting.
All right. Wow. Well, good job, Leaflit. That was interesting to watch with all your insane
I could have
takes.
done better.
The next time, get a little sleep beforehand.
Yeah. It was a bad. I should have been. Does this ever happen to you though, when you're about to have like some big event or some big like you're about to really submit yourself to like some kind of PvP, something grueling, like you just get nervous and you can't sleep? You ever have
Sure.
that? I get that a lot, like really bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
It's everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get nervous. You're excited. Yeah, they get that adrenaline going. Well, you did great, Leaflit.
Thank you.
Anthony says, Leaflit wanted a good faith debate. Nyara did not. One politician, I forget who, said as soon as they start calling you ists, there's no point talking because they are wasting your time. Thank you, Anthony. Victus Omega says, I'm proud of you, Leaflit. You did great in that debate, and we need more exposure to these people's worldview against common sense. Their arguments fell on their face against your reason and logic. What's amazing about that, though, is they don't feel like their logic was like, they think that you're just a bigot and you're horrible because of that. Like, so Victus Omega is saying, hey, good job. Their arguments fell on the face of your reason and logic. But here's the thing, is that Leaflit's reason and logic is unreasonable and illogical to them. So it doesn't make any sense at all, to them, which is crazy. So, Hippie Treehugger says, with 500 kicks, says, the biggest problem I have with the trans community is that they're targeting the developmental disabled and exploiting them. Suna says, empathy means nothing because Nyara and people like him. I'm sorry, but their feelings has ruined so many people's lives because they can't take accountability for once in their life. Thank you, Suna. Evan says, I've seen 5 minutes of these clips trying to make Leaflit look bad, and Leaflit's the only sane person in them. My head hurts trying to make sense of Nyara's position. It's
the problem is if you can't discuss things, and this is like the point of the hypotheticals, is like kind of trying to like find out what people actually believe so you can have a discussion about it. And the problem is like when you say, oh, it doesn't matter, like it's just my feelings, I feel bad, so I'm right, and I don't really care what you have to say. The problem is once you get to that point, the only thing that there is violence. That's the only way to resolve your dispute at that point. Whether that's like political power or force, sorry, not violence, force. Force is the only thing you can do at that point.
I got another video for you right here for you to check out.